On WFT Midday, the government shutdown reaches day 3, with lawmakers blaming each other for a lack of progress, while federal employees are going without pay or being let go.
Plus, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs awaits his fate in court today. He's telling the public he's a changed man. We have the latest details.
And closer to home, it's looking to be a muggy and rainy weekend. Our weather team lets you know how much longer you'll need the rain gear for.
You're watching WUFT Midday.
The government shutdown stretching into its 3rd day this morning. Senators are expected to vote once again, but measures could fail. Welcome to WFT Midday. I'm Victoria Perez.
And I'm Genesis Trujillo. Furloughed federal employees are concerned about their jobs and paychecks. Bianca Fascini tells us how these workers and their families are handling the shutdown.
The government shutdown has families across the country bracing for the worst.
We're kind of getting used to uncertainty.
And as federal workers wait for updates, they're feeling frustrated.
What we really want to do is to be at work. We're feeling angry at being treated as political pawns.
It's unclear if Democrats and Republicans have made any progress in negotiations. The Senate is scheduled to vote again today, but the measures aren't expected to pass. In the meantime, the Trump administration is planning on layoffs.
Look, it's likely going to be in the thousands.
President Trump met with Budget Director Russ Vought on Thursday. In a post online, he said the two would discuss which Democrat agencies Vought recommended be cut. Democrats say the president is using the shutdown to target them.
The American people are crystal clear on who shut down the government. Crystal clear. They know it was Donald Trump and Republicans for a wide variety of reasons.
The government shutdown.
Meanwhile, Republican Senate Leader John Thune says negotiations over health care, the sticking point for Democrats, can start only once the government opens up again.
I don't think you can keep this hostage. As soon as they release the hostage, then we can talk about those other issues.
Neither side showing signs of backing down, with no breakthrough in sight. In Washington, Bianca Fascini, NBC News.
This government shutdown comes in the middle of hurricane season. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration weather forecasters are planning to keep working during the shutdown. Ivan Rodriguez reveals how the shutdown adds another layer of complexity to the organization's forecasting abilities.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the Federal Emergency Management Agency will remain open because they're deemed essential to the protection of lives and property, but employees will still feel the impact.
They're doing the work without pay, without an understanding of when this shutdown is going to end. Will they get that back pay eventually?
Chris Vygotsky with WiscoNet says he hopes the shutdown is resolved quickly so it doesn't severely impact the livelihoods of employees. The Weather Forecasting Agency has less than 4,000 employees for the first time in decades. It lost more than 560 people to layoffs, early retirement incentives, and other programs aimed at shrinking the size of the federal government. The agency has enough staff to accurately predict tropical storms and hurricanes, says a NOAA official who spoke to CNN on the condition of anonymity for fear of retribution.
The question, of course, is for how long and what other supporting capabilities, if you will, might be compromised, especially with so many people being furloughed right now.
With some local NWS offices short-staffed, former NOAA Administrator Richard Spinrad worries about weather events happening simultaneously across the country.
What happens if we have another hurricane outbreak and some wildfires in the West, severe drought in the Midwest? All of a sudden, you're stretching that workforce so very thin with regard to providing those services across the country and for all of these different environmental hazards.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
We had some sun for a couple of days, but rain could be making its way back into our forecast this evening and over the next couple of days. UF Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller is live in the weather studio with what you can expect for your weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit on the soggy side. There's no doubt about it, for sure. So, but not a washout, just a little bit on the soggy side. We can handle that. Currently, it's rather cloudy and it's sort of muggy outside. 79 our current temperature. Winds, though, are from the northeast around 13 miles per hour. That's going to be the key this weekend, is these winds. from the northeast. But look at the humidity in Dew Point, so it's fairly up there. But the breeze helps it feel just a little better, right? So let's take a look at our radar here. And this is going to be the story all weekend long, I'm afraid. This moisture coming in from the Atlantic, popping off a few little showers here and there. We'll zoom in a little bit closer to home, and yeah, not much. I mean, the sky may look like it's just going to just drop out any minute, but that's just not the case. It's going to be pretty much on and off throughout today, tonight, tomorrow, and into Sunday as well. Let's look at the rest of our Friday. 82, pretty much where we're at now. 84 at 3 o'clock, partly cloudy. We'll throw in those showers here and there. We'll look at that and the game day forecast all coming up.
Prosecutors demand more than an 11-year sentence for rapper Sean Diddy Combs. WFT's Arteria Hicks joins us live in the studio to tell us about Combs' sentencing that's set for today.
Vicky, on the eve of his sentencing, Sean Diddy Combs, the fallen music mogul, sent a letter to a federal judge pleading for mercy. Combs is set to be sentenced after he was convicted in July on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. In the letter, Combs apologized and expressed sorrow for all the hurt and pain he caused. Combs wrote, "I lost my way. I got lost in my journey, lost in the drugs and the excess. My downfall was rooted in my selfishness." He was acquitted of most serious counts, 1 count of racketeering conspiracy and 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Combs will have an opportunity to address the courts. Prosecutors are asking for an 11-year prison sentence. Combs' attorneys are asking for 14 months in prison. The judge rejected an effort by Combs' attorney to toss out the criminal counts on which he was convicted. Live in the studio, Arteria Hicks, WUFT News.
Closer to home, Floridians are also feeling the effects of a government shutdown, including those receiving Social Security benefits. Edward Franco reports on how some local services are being impacted.
People have been coming and going all day here at the Social Security office in Fort Myers with one big question: what would their Social Security benefits look like during the government shutdown? The good news is those benefit checks will still arrive. In the Gulf Coast, you can expect some federal offices to not be running so smoothly.
Veteran John Conley is upset that the government shut down overnight.
They didn't have to do this.
He says he went to the Social Security office in Fort Myers today and was told they couldn't help with the service he needs.
Yeah, it's a little stressful when you don't have any money really going on and the services aren't open and you drive 20 miles each way just to get told nobody's home.
Federal offices on the Gulf Coast may have limited services until funding returns.
Because they were closed last night in D.C., our government, they could not process anything here.
SNAP benefits, the food assistance program, also keeps going for now. But if Congress can't resolve the shutdown quickly, funding could dry up. Town leaders on Fort Myers Beach say FEMA approvals and reimbursements may be delayed, which could impact people recovering from recent hurricanes. Southwest Florida International Airport tells me there are not any major impacts. Air traffic controllers, TSA, and Customs and Border Protection agents should still be working even though they won't get paid until the shutdown ends.
Essential employees like those air traffic controllers won't be paid until the shutdown is over. But employees the government deems non-essential are furloughed during a shutdown.
A Gainesville father is looking to expand positive representation for Black fathers. He's using his voice to do it. His podcast works to change the stigma that fathers in his community are absent in children's lives. As WUFT's Krystal Felix reports, his work is catching the attention of local leaders.
The purpose of this Dad Day Walk event comes from Anthony Ray's Dad Can We Talk podcast, meant to bring dads together in a safe place to talk about fatherhood.
Father of 3, Anthony Ray enjoys doing what all parents do with their children, spending time with them. But it was comments made while he was doing normal fatherly things that caught people's attention.
I'm just being a regular father because this is what I'm supposed to do.
The comments created a light bulb moment.
And so after years of that, I started having these ideas and thoughts of how I could highlight some of these great dads that I knew.
He started by interviewing dads he knew personally, one for every 28 days of Black History Month. The goal? To spotlight Black fathers and how many are prevalent in their children's lives, despite the stigma they aren't. Since his start in 2018, the Dad Can We Talk podcast has gained more attention, reaching listeners from Seattle to England.
And maintaining relationships, healthy relationships, that's with your children, with mom, with other family members, with your community, so important to your journey in fatherhood. caring for yourself.
Ray's efforts are reflected in his listeners. Malcolm Askew says the podcast helps him feel represented, especially as an African-American dad to 2 daughters.
It's not a popular message that's being spread. It's hard to find a positive black male voice.
He speaks about his personal experience with the podcast.
It's that safe, private space where I could just go learn some things without being judged.
And his work has now been noticed by Gainesville leaders to encourage other fathers to get more involved.
Good afternoon, Trenton neighbors. It's homecoming parade day for your Tigers. But the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office wants you to know parts of U.S. Highway 129 in Trenton are temporarily closed for the parade. They're reopening as the parade ends. More homecoming news, this time for those of us in Lake Butler. The Union County High School Homecoming Parade is happening right now. The Union County Sheriff's Office said you should expect major road closures throughout Lake Butler. It recommends you avoid major roads in the city until around 2 p.m. today. But there's also an early release from school today, meaning traffic could still be backed up after that time.
Marion County Fire Rescue is launching a program to enhance its response to potential emergencies for residents and local businesses. Community Connect allows you to share important information with MCFR through an online portal. It asks you questions about things like your pets, properties, and details about any mobility concerns. Creating an account through the portal is free. You can access the link to sign up at WUFT.org. If you have tires you need to get rid of, there's a great way to do it. The City of Ocala's Tire Waste Amnesty Day begins tomorrow, lasting from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Ocala residents can drop their tires off at Hampton Aquatic Center on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. You can leave up to 10 tires, and you may be asked to present a driver's license with the city address.
Also, in Ocala tomorrow, if you need some fall fun, look no further. Marion County Parks and Recreation is hosting its annual carnival on Saturday. It includes great activities for the kids like inflatable games, a petting zoo, and so much more. The carnival begins at 5 p.m. and ends at 9 p.m. You can get to it by heading over to Southeastern Livestock Pavilion on Jacksonville Road. It's $5 for a youth armband, but you can get it for free if you bring 5 non-perishable donations.
Well, we have ourselves some rain headed our way, especially along the coast where 3 to 5 inches of rain could fall. We'll talk about that and what we can expect here, all coming up next.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
You're taking a live look at I-10 in Columbia County. There's plenty of clouds overhead, and we might see some rain this evening. UF Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller is live in the weather studio to let you know how showers and storms could impact your game day plans.
Yeah, I was just actually checking our radar just moments ago, sort of getting involved in things and checking it out. And sure enough, here it is. Let's give a look at it. Showers starting to move on in. Notice they're moving in from the northeast, right? And they're very, very light, but you'll catch 1 or 2 of these little heavier showers. My thinking is the heavier rain will actually be along the coast. If you're going to the beach this weekend, that's where I think it's going to be a washout, especially the East Coast. The west side, maybe not so much. We're talking a lot of rain here. So the time it actually rains and moves off towards the west, as it moves from the west, things will somewhat dry out a little bit. It's not going to be totally dry, but certainly drier than it will be along the coast. Temperatures, thank you, clouds and rain and a little bit of northeast wind. It's holding the temperatures down. Not fall by any stretch of the imagination, but a faux fall, if you will. 79 Gainesville, Jacksonville at 76. A little warmer, St. Augustine about 82. But with that breeze, it doesn't matter. It feels absolutely great. It feels great outside as well. But it's a little muggy, a little humid. That's going to be the case pretty much all weekend. So here's the weather headlines. We've got a battle going on here. High pressure well to our north. That's helping drag in that northeast wind that we're going to be having pretty much all weekend long. Developing to the south is low pressure, also what we call an area disturbed weather called the trough. All of that means just we have some wet weather. So between the northeast winds bringing in the moisture and moisture coming in from the south, we're caught in the middle for sure. All of that then adds to the wind. Wind could gust up to about 30 miles per hour. And I'll tell you, I think along the coast, 35, 40 mile per hour gusts wouldn't surprise me as well. And numerous passing showers. So again, not a washout. The rain will come and go, and that's going to be pretty much the case even for the game coming up. Futurecast for tonight. Notice the clouds, right? They're coming in from the east Winds, though, from the northeast. And here comes our showers, sort of in and out, sort of like visiting in and out here. Here's 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Notice nothing really widespread, so that's going to be the case pretty much all the weekend. Just hit and miss showers. The west coast, not much. Notice 85 Cedar Key, low 80s along the coast. So generally speaking, low to mid 80s pretty much throughout the weekend. We'll take it into Sunday. Sunday, I think we'll have a better chance of showers. Notice the showers were coming from east to west. By Sunday, they're coming in from the southeast. What does that mean? That means there's a little bit more moisture to our south, so a better shot at some showers. So let me give you a looky-loo here. This is our outlook as far as the rain's concerned. There's our graph, probably hard to see, but anyway, 3 to 5 inches of rain along the coast wouldn't surprise me. Less inland, so maybe, generally speaking, maybe up to an inch for us by the time everything's said and done. Everything said and done would be probably by Monday, all things considered. Right now, we do have a flood advisory for areas south of Daytona Beach, and I wouldn't be surprised if that also moves up towards the north, continues to move up towards the north. All right, we got ourselves a football game going on here. So Saturday night, 82 degrees at kickoff, 82 degrees at halftime. Temperature's not moving much, right? Fourth quarter, 81 degrees. Not going to rule out a shower. Thunderstorm, sort of iffy. We'll put an isolated nature in there, but I don't think really too bad. Quick look at the tropics. An area disturbance here. Don't really foresee that to be much. And this area out here in the Atlantic, again, something we'll be watching closely. 7-day forecast, there it is. Temperatures in the 80s, overnight low temperatures in the 70s with a decent chance of rain over the next couple days. That's your forecast.
The countdown to Halloween begins. Right now, we're 4 weeks away, but when you go shopping for your kids' own Halloween costumes, you may notice some higher prices. Jen Sullivan looks at how some tariffs could impact your Halloween spending habits.
It's October, and that means rolling out the pumpkins, ghosts, and goblins. But the most frightful thing about Halloween this year may just be the prices as shoppers feel the impact of tariffs and inflation.
Tariffs this year are on people's minds.
Catherine Cullen with the National Retail Federation says they saw people start shopping in September or earlier for Halloween because they're worried items will cost more, so they're spreading out their purchases.
Many of those costs haven't yet been passed on to consumers. It is impacting certain goods differently. We may be seeing it a little bit more in non-durable goods.
President Donald Trump implemented tariffs on a variety of imported goods to encourage companies to make products in the U.S. According to the Alliance for American Manufacturing, virtually all Halloween costumes on the market are imported, which means they'll be subject to tariffs. But Cullen says tariffs have affected certain goods differently.
Less than a quarter of tariff costs have been passed on to consumers.
Trick or treat! Candy and sweets prices are also up from a year ago, according to the latest Consumer Price Index. Shoppers are spending more on Halloween this year. The NRF says people are spending about $114 per person. That's nearly $11 more than last year.
In times of uncertainty, and we've seen this starting with the pandemic, during times of inflation and others, people are turning to these celebrations, these fun holidays where no matter what's going on in the world, you can dress up in something fun.
If those prices are giving you a scare, there are ways to save. Cullen suggests shopping at discount stores, reusing decorations, and getting crafty with costumes and decor. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Amazon is resuming its drone delivery service after suspending it when 2 of their drones crashed. The Federal Aviation Administration says the drones collided into a crane in Arizona on Wednesday. Police say one of the 80-pound drones came down in the parking lot near the crane, while the second one fell into a different parking lot. A hazmat crew responded due to smoke and reported damage to the drone's lithium-ion batteries. No injuries were reported, and the FAA is investigating the incident.
The Food and Drug Administration is allowing U.S. companies to produce a new generic version of an abortion pill. The drug is called mifepristone. It was first cleared 25 years ago, and the FDA authorized another generic version of the pill in 2019. Some critics blasted the approval, but health officials point out the FDA has limited authority when generic drugs meet legal standards. Medical experts also cite decades of research showing the pill is safe, and serious complications are rare.
Back closer to home, it's officially the month of pink, and the Florida Department of Health in Marion County is spreading breast cancer awareness. It's providing access to low-cost breast cancer screenings to women with low incomes. To see if you qualify, call the number on your screen. According to the DOH Marion, routine screenings and self-breast exams can help prevent breast cancer. Being familiar with your body will help you notice irregularities. It says mammograms should be scheduled every 2 years. Well, the Gators are back in the swamp this weekend to welcome the Texas Longhorns to town. Florida's offense is looking for a spark, and DJ Lagway is trying to deliver just that.
Our sports team has the latest on what the Gators are doing to prepare for game day. Stay right here. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
The Arch Manning comes to Gainesville. Entering the season, Manning and the Gators starting quarterback DJ Lagway are among the contenders for the 2025 Heisman Trophy. Both have struggled to find their footing, but will look to regain control tomorrow. Kickoff is set for 3:30 p.m. Taking one look out the window, it's clear that football is back in Gainesville. EA Sports is in town promoting their College Football 26 with guests like running back Jaden Ball and linebacker Aaron Childs.
My favorite part was communicating with the fans, getting their perspective on coming to the games and giving them a perspective going into the tunnel, going out the tunnel, playing in the game, just hearing the crowd cheer for us. That was my favorite part.
EA Sports will continue to host pregame events today and tomorrow with appearances from Gator alum like Kyle Pitts. This weekend in Gainesville, another rivalry is brewing on the football field. Tonight, the number 4 Buchholz Bobcats travel to take on the Gainesville High School Hurricanes.
And they're gonna play that way for the entire game, and you have to be able to execute at a level for an entire game.
The matchup is set for 7:30 p.m. at Citizens Field. Gainesville native tennis pro Ben Shelton returns to the court today at the Rolex Shanghai Masters after suffering a shoulder injury early September. And that's your Midday Sports. Let's see what's coming up on First at 5.
Hi again. Here's what we have for you on First at 5 a little later on today. Calling all senior citizens in Alachua County, they want you to register to vote. And we tell you why the county says it matters. And we show you how one soccer player is breaking barriers on the gridiron and on the pitch. We are working on those stories and much more for you on First at 5. Watch us on WUFT.org or the PBS app. We hope to see you this evening. Before we go, let's take one final look at the weather.
Let's do that. Temperatures in the 80s, overnight low temperatures in the 70s. But with that breeze, it'll feel good, but a chance of rain, though, I'm afraid, all weekend long.